she takes forever to respond or doesn't respond at all. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," and nowhere is this more evident than in dating. Many men waste precious time chasing a woman who has already made up her mind. They believe that if they try harder, prove their worth, or simply wait long enough, she'll eventually change her feelings. But that's not how attraction works. A woman who isn't interested doesn't need to tell you, she shows you. The problem is that most men ignore the signs. Unlike men, who tend to reject directly, women withdraw, make excuses, or act indifferent until the message is crystal clear. The worst mistake you can make, trying harder when the answer is right in front of you. If she wants you, you won't have to guess. If she doesn't, you're wasting your time. In this video, I'll break down 7 clear signs she's not interested so you can recognize them, walk away with confidence, and stop second-guessing yourself. Because the truth is simple. A woman who wants you makes it easy. A woman who doesn't makes it complicated. Let's dive in. She never initiates contact. She takes forever to respond, or doesn't respond at all. A woman who is genuinely interested will make the effort no matter how busy she is. If she constantly delays replying or outright ignores your messages, she's sending a clear signal. You are not a priority. Many men try to rationalize this behavior, telling themselves she's just busy, she forgot, or maybe she didn't see the message. But let's be real, in today's world, where everyone is glued to their phone, that excuse doesn't hold up. If a woman truly wants to talk to you, she will. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." If you aspire to be respected and valued, you must recognize when someone is showing you otherwise. Women who are interested will check their messages frequently, reply promptly, and even initiate conversations. If she doesn't, it's because she's either uninterested or prioritizing someone else. One of the biggest mistakes men make is reacting to slow replies by double texting, sending multiple messages, or calling repeatedly. This only makes things worse. It signals desperation. A high-value man does not chase someone who is only giving him breadcrumbs. A woman who is genuinely into you won't risk losing your interest by making you wait unnecessarily. She will reply with enthusiasm, ask questions, keep the conversation going. But if she's not into you, she will send short, lifeless replies, take hours or days to respond, ghost you entirely. So what's the best move? Match her energy. If she takes forever to reply, stop texting her altogether. If she ignores you, walk away without another word. Do not beg. Do not chase. Do not allow her to disrespect your time. Epictetus once asked, "How long will you wait before you demand the best for yourself?" Let that question guide your actions. She never initiates contact. A woman who is truly interested won't just wait for you to reach out. She'll find reasons to text or call. If she never initiates, it's a sign she doesn't care enough to do so. Many men believe it's their job to always start conversations. But attraction is a two-way street. Ask yourself this: if you stopped texting her today, would she reach out? If the answer is no, then you already know where you stand. A woman who values you will check in on you, share things that remind her of you, make an effort to keep the connection alive. If she doesn't do these things, she's simply not that into you. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The sooner you recognize the signs, the sooner you can move on to someone who genuinely reciprocates your effort. Too many men ignore these signals, hoping that if they just keep trying, she'll eventually change her mind. But here's the truth. A woman who is truly interested does not need to be convinced. And another huge sign, she avoids making plans with you. A woman who wants to see you will make time, no matter how busy she is. If she's always too busy, constantly rescheduling, or giving vague responses like, "we'll see," or "maybe another time," she's subtly telling you she's not interested. Don't waste your time hoping for a different answer. When a woman truly likes you, she will make it obvious. And when she doesn't, she'll make it complicated. "Let's see," or "maybe another time" means she's not interested. In today's world, people make time for what matters to them. A woman who genuinely likes you won't risk losing the opportunity to spend time with you. If you feel like you're always the one making plans while she's constantly too busy or unsure, it's time to face reality. She's just not that interested. A woman who keeps making excuses isn't looking for a way to see you. She's looking for a way to avoid you. Instead of chasing, take a step back. Give her the space to show you whether she genuinely wants to see you or not. If she does, she'll make an effort. If she doesn't, you have your answer. She only contacts you when it's convenient. Another sign of disinterest: she treats you like a convenience. If she only reaches out when she's bored, needs something, or it simply suits her, she's using you, not valuing you. Some men mistake this for interest, thinking, "at least she's talking to me." But in reality, she's only keeping you around for her convenience. If she texts when she's lonely but disappears when she's out having fun, you're not a priority, you're an option. Stoic philosophy teaches the importance of self-respect. A man who values himself does not allow himself to be an afterthought. Walk away from people who only remember you when they have nothing better to do. As Epictetus put it, keep company only with those who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Her body language says it all. A woman may not always say she's not interested, but her actions will betray her feelings. If she avoids eye contact, turns her body away from you, keeps her distance, seems distracted when you talk, she's subtly signaling that she's not engaged. Women are naturally expressive when they like someone. It's obvious in their body language. They lean in, maintain eye contact, and find reasons to touch you. If she's doing the opposite, she's subconsciously telling you she's not interested. The biggest mistake men make: ignoring these signs and convincing themselves things will change. But Stoicism teaches us to see reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. You deserve to be with someone who is fully present and engaged when she's with you. If she's not, she's simply not the right one. She talks about other men. If a woman constantly mentions other men, whether it's her ex, a male friend, or someone she finds attractive, she's subtly telling you she doesn't see you as a romantic option. When a woman is truly interested, she won't risk making you feel like you're competing. She'll make it clear that you're the one she wants. But if she frequently brings up other guys, she's signaling that you're not a contender. Do not compete for someone's attention. If she truly wants you, there will be no competition. A woman who wants you makes it easy. A woman who doesn't makes it complicated. The more you chase someone who shows no interest, the more you waste your own time and dignity. Stoicism is about self-control, self-respect, and understanding what is within your power. You cannot force someone to want you, but you can choose to walk away with your confidence intact. And here's the truth. The world respects a man who respects himself. She never makes an effort to see you. She never initiates contact. She never makes an effort to see you. A woman who genuinely likes you will find a way to reach out. No excuses, no hesitation. Whether it's a simple check-in, sharing something that reminded her of you, or suggesting plans, she values your presence in her life. But when a woman isn't interested, the imbalance becomes clear. You're always the one texting first. You're always the one keeping the conversation going. You're always the one trying to make plans. Meanwhile, she remains passive, distant, or disengaged. Many men ignore this red flag, convincing themselves she's just busy, not good at texting, or shy. But let's be honest, a woman who truly cares will find a way to show it. Seneca once said, "A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver." In relationships, effort is that gift, and if she's not giving it, she's simply not interested. If she's offering nothing, the message is clear: she doesn't care. Too many men try to manufacture interest by constantly reaching out, thinking that if they just stay consistent, she'll eventually reciprocate. But in reality, all they're doing is making it easier for her to keep them around as a backup option. So what's the solution? Simple. Test it. Stop reaching out first and observe. If days pass and she never checks in, you have all the proof you need. No more excuses. No more waiting for a moment that will never come. A man who values himself doesn't chase someone who wouldn't even bother to check on him. This isn't about playing games. It's about protecting your dignity and energy. Stoic wisdom teaches that happiness comes from understanding what you can and cannot control. You cannot force a woman to want you, but you can control your response to her disinterest. You can choose to step away and focus on people who bring value to your life rather than those who drain you emotionally. The problem is, too many men are afraid to let go of false hope, even when the truth is staring them in the face. But letting go isn't weakness, it's strength. Walking away from one-sided effort is an act of self-respect. The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us to detach from external validation and focus on inner peace. A woman who wants you will make it easy. She won't leave you wondering, questioning, or over-analyzing. When a woman truly desires a man, she makes her presence known. If you have to debate whether or not she's interested, she isn't. So what will you do? Will you keep investing in someone who gives nothing in return? Or will you take back your time, energy, and self-worth? The choice is yours. And as the Stoics say, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. The moment you stop chasing those who don't value you, you free yourself for those who do. She doesn't engage in meaningful conversations. She never makes an effort to see you. She never initiates real conversations. A woman who truly values you will never leave you guessing. She won't make you feel like an afterthought or a backup plan. Instead, she'll adjust her schedule to see you, suggest plans on her own, show genuine excitement about spending time together. This isn't about grand gestures. It's about simple but meaningful actions that reflect her enthusiasm for you. But if she's always too busy, constantly rescheduling, giving vague answers like, "we'll see," or "maybe next week," then here's the hard truth. She doesn't see you as a priority. And if someone doesn't see you as a priority, why are you treating them like one? A high-value man recognizes when his presence isn't reciprocated. He doesn't waste time trying to convince someone to want him. Instead, he removes himself from situations where he's not valued, because women, like all people, make time for what matters to them. When a woman truly desires you, she won't just sit back and wait for you to chase her. She'll make an effort too. Yet too many men fall into the trap of making excuses for a woman's lack of effort. They tell themselves, "she's just really busy. She has a lot going on. Maybe she's waiting for me to take the lead." But let's be honest. If someone truly wants to be in your life, they won't leave you questioning your importance. As Seneca wisely said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." A woman who keeps you in limbo, always promising but never delivering, is not truly present in your life. If she wanted to see you, she would make it happen. No matter how packed her schedule is, she wouldn't let too much time pass without seeing you because she values the connection. A high-value man doesn't chase. Today, try to prove his worth to someone who doesn't recognize it. Instead, he observes actions, not words, and walks away when the effort is one-sided. Some women keep men around for attention, not because they're interested. The sad truth? Some women won't outright reject you, but they also won't make time for you. Why? Because they enjoy the attention. They like knowing you'll always be there, reaching out, waiting, hoping, but they have no intention of building anything real with you. A woman who genuinely wants you will make plans, not excuses, be present, not distant, give effort, not breadcrumbs. A woman who doesn't will keep you on standby, just in case she gets bored. And a man who respects himself will never settle for that. So ask yourself, is she really interested or just keeping you around? If you're always the one trying while she just sits back, the answer is already clear. Final thought, stop settling for less. A woman who wants you makes it easy. A woman who doesn't makes it complicated. Stop wasting time deciphering mixed signals. They aren't mixed, they're just a soft no. A high-value man walks away from one-sided effort. And the moment you do, you free yourself for someone who actually wants to be with you, because at the end of the day, the world respects a man who respects himself. She's giving you just enough to keep you hooked, but never truly committing. Some women are masters of mixed signals. They respond just enough to keep you engaged, but never take the next step to actually see you. This is where a Stoic mindset is crucial. As Epicurus wisely said, if you wish to be in good health, stop allowing yourself to be sick. The same applies to your self-worth in dating. If you wish to be valued, stop entertaining situations where you are being taken for granted. The biggest mistake men make, thinking that persistence will change a woman's mind. But the truth is simple. A woman who is truly interested doesn't need to be convinced. She makes it easy. If you stop reaching out and she suddenly finds time, she was just playing games. If she disappears, she was never interested in the first place. If she's not willing to invest time into you, it's because she doesn't see the relationship as valuable, and you deserve better. A man who knows his worth doesn't tolerate half-hearted effort. He understands that his time and energy are valuable, and he invests them wisely. Instead of wasting energy on someone who barely acknowledges his presence, he channels that energy into his personal growth, his passions, people who genuinely appreciate him. Now, here's where the Stoic mindset comes into play. When you realize a woman isn't making an effort, don't get angry, don't demand explanations, don't seek closure. The reality is simple. Her actions already told you everything you need to know. The moment you step back, you gain clarity. If she's truly interested, she will notice your absence and make an effort to reconnect. If she doesn't, then you have your answer. She was never really invested. A high-value man does not beg for love, attention, or validation. He doesn't wait around for someone to decide if he's worth their time. He moves with purpose, grace, self-respect. He understands that attraction should be effortless, not a constant uphill battle. The world respects a man who respects himself. Women are drawn to confidence, certainty, purpose, not desperation. The moment you start demanding the same level of effort you give, you elevate yourself to a position of strength. You stop waiting, you stop hoping, and you start choosing. That's what it means to be a high-value man. That's what it means to win Stoic. She flirts, but never takes it further. A woman who is genuinely interested in you will not treat conversations like an obligation, give you lukewarm, empty responses, leave you guessing whether she actually cares. Instead, she will engage with checkmark, curiosity, checkmark, enthusiasm, checkmark, sincerity. When someone truly values you, talking to you isn't a chore. It's something they look forward to. She'll ask personal questions, show interest in your thoughts and experiences, share her own perspectives willingly, because real attraction naturally sparks meaningful dialogue. But when a woman isn't invested, conversations feel one-sided, dry and superficial. She rarely asks about your day, your passions, or your experiences. Her responses become short, generic, and empty, more like fulfilling a duty than genuine interest. She might reply out of politeness, but there's no real effort to keep the conversation alive. If you find yourself constantly analyzing every word she says, trying to extract meaning from lackluster responses, then you're already fighting an uphill battle. Stop trying to create chemistry where it doesn't exist. Many men misinterpret these signs. They think, if I just try harder, if I ask better questions, if I share more about myself, then maybe, just maybe, she'll start feeling the same way. But this approach never works. It only lowers your value in her eyes. Think about it. When you're genuinely excited about someone, do you give short, lifeless responses? Do you avoid asking them about their life? Of course not. When you care, you engage because you're naturally drawn to them. This is why you must stop making excuses for her disinterest. As Seneca wisely said, while we are postponing, life speeds by. Every moment you spend trying to force a connection with someone who doesn't reciprocate is time wasted, and that's time you could be investing in someone who actually values you. Final thought, a woman who wants you will make it obvious. Stop chasing mixed signals. If she's truly into you, she'll make time, not excuses. She'll engage in real conversations, not empty exchanges. She'll put in effort, not just respond out of politeness. A woman who values you makes it clear. A woman who doesn't keeps you guessing. Don't waste your time on someone who only gives you just enough to stay interested but never actually invests in you. Because at the end of the day, a high-value man walks away from one-sided effort. And when you do, you free yourself for someone who actually wants to be with you. She's keeping you around for convenience, not commitment. Some women give just enough attention to keep you engaged, but when it comes to deep, meaningful conversations, the kind that build real bonds, they remain distant, indifferent, and uninterested. Why? Because for them your presence is convenient, not meaningful. This is where Stoicism comes in, the ability to see things as they are without illusion. A woman who truly values you will contribute to the conversation, not make you feel like you're carrying the weight of every interaction. So what should you do when you notice this? The answer is simple. Stop forcing it. If she's truly interested, she will step up and put in the effort to keep things flowing. If she doesn't, it's time to move on. Protect your energy. It's valuable. One of the greatest Stoic lessons to remember: your energy is valuable. Don't waste it trying to convince someone of your worth. The right person will recognize your value without you having to beg for their attention. Instead of overextending yourself, take a step back and observe her actions. Does she reach out when you stop initiating? Does she try to deepen the conversation when you withdraw effort? If not, she's not invested, and the best move is to remove yourself from the equation. A high-value man does not chase, he attracts. And one of the fastest ways to lose respect is by chasing someone who isn't meeting you halfway. Real interest leads to meaningful conversations. In today's world, where endless distractions compete for attention, genuine conversations are a clear sign of interest. If she's truly into you, she will prioritize real discussions. If she keeps it light, surface level, or disengaged, she's either emotionally unavailable or simply not interested. As Epictetus put it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Instead of dwelling on why she isn't engaging, accept the reality that she isn't, and act accordingly. When you remove your energy from situations that don't serve you, you create space for those that do. That's the difference between being in control of your life or letting someone else dictate your worth. A woman who truly values you will show it. And if she doesn't, then there's only one thing left to do: walk away. If she does this, she's just playing you walk away. A woman who's genuinely interested won't just flirt for fun. She'll create real opportunities for the relationship to develop. She won't tease you, smile, or touch your arm, only to disappear when you try to move things forward. Keep things playful and non-committal, while always holding you at arm's length. Give you just enough attention to keep you hopeful, but never actually invest in you. If she truly desires you, she will make it clear, through both words and actions. But if she laughs at your jokes, gives you compliments, and makes intense eye contact, then suddenly becomes unavailable the moment you try to ask her out or deepen the connection. She's not genuinely interested. She enjoys the attention, but has no intention of taking things further. Stop mistaking flirting for real interest. If you constantly convince yourself that flirting equals attraction, despite her reluctance to move forward, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. A high-value man understands the difference between playful teasing versus genuine attraction, casual flirtation versus real emotional investment. If she's always flirting but never taking things further, then you're not someone she truly wants. You're just an option. Don't play the waiting game. Many men fall into the trap of thinking, if I just keep playing along, eventually something will happen. If I stay patient, persistent, and prove my worth, she'll finally come around. But the harsh truth is, the more you entertain this behavior, the less she respects you. A woman who sees you as a real contender will want to spend time with you, engage in meaningful conversations, show signs of emotional connection. But if she's flirting without any real substance behind it, she's just using you for validation. And the moment you recognize this, you stop chasing and start choosing. Because a high-value man doesn't waste time on someone who isn't willing to meet him halfway. He knows his worth, and so should you. She's keeping you as a backup, not a priority. If she's flirting but never committing, she's not waiting for the right moment. She's keeping you as an option while she explores other opportunities. As Seneca wisely put it, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. If you spend months or even years being strung along by a woman who never actually moves forward with you, you're wasting valuable time and energy, time that could be spent on someone who genuinely values you. This is classic behavior from someone who enjoys the attention but doesn't see you as a priority. Think of it like a cat playing with a mouse, not out of need, but for entertainment. She keeps you engaged because it makes her feel good, but she has no real intention of building something deeper with you. A woman who wants you won't play games. If a woman is truly interested, she won't risk losing you by playing games. She won't keep you in a cycle of hot and cold behavior. She won't flirt endlessly without ever following through. If she's sending mixed signals, it's not a challenge to decode. It's a clear sign she enjoys the attention but doesn't see you as someone she truly wants to commit to. The Stoic mindset: control what you can. One of the most powerful Stoic principles is knowing that you cannot control how a woman feels, but you can control whether you keep investing time in a situation that isn't going anywhere. So, what's the best move? Stop entertaining meaningless flirting. Pull back your attention and see what happens. If she's genuinely interested, she will step up and make an effort. If she's not, then congratulations, you've just saved yourself months of confusion and frustration. A high-value man doesn't waste time on women who play games. He understands that real attraction is effortless. It doesn't require guessing, waiting, tolerating mixed signals. If she flirts but never takes things further, it's not a puzzle to solve. It's a door to close. Walk away from empty attention. Choose real connection. Instead of chasing after someone who only offers breadcrumbs of attention, redirect your focus toward people who genuinely reciprocate your interest. Modern Stoicism teaches us that attachment to outcomes we cannot control only leads to suffering. If you find yourself hoping that her mixed signals will one day turn into real interest, you're setting yourself up for unnecessary disappointment. The key is to recognize the pattern early and step away before you invest too much emotional energy. The mark of a man who values himself is his ability to walk away from situations that do not serve him. If a woman flirts but never takes things further, it's not a mystery to decode, it's a waste of your time. A man who respects himself earns respect. Your time, energy, and self-worth are too valuable to waste on someone who sees you as a backup plan instead of a priority. The moment you stop engaging in empty flirting and start focusing on genuine connections, you elevate yourself as a man. Women respect men who respect themselves. When you remove yourself from the equation, one of two things will happen. 1. She will realize your value and step up. 2. She will let you go, confirming what you already knew deep down. Either way, you win. As Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. The same applies to attraction. True confidence doesn't come from chasing meaningless attention, it comes from knowing you deserve something real. If a woman is truly interested, she'll make it known. If she only flirts but never follows through, she was never serious in the first place. She resists physical contact or intimacy. Walk away. A high-value man recognizes when a woman is subtly testing his limits, seeing how much she can get away with while giving little to nothing in return. Once she realizes you'll stick around no matter what, she starts seeing you as someone she can use for attention, rely on for validation, keep around for convenience. This is when you stop being a priority and start being an option. The right response? Call it out or walk away. If you convince yourself that her breadcrumbs of attention mean she actually cares, you'll fall into a cycle where your time, energy, and self-worth are constantly being drained. A man who knows his value doesn't tolerate half-hearted effort. He moves with purpose, grace, and self-respect, and he never settles for someone who treats him as an option. Because in the end, attraction should be effortless, not an uphill battle. A woman who truly values you won't make you prove your worth. If someone doesn't truly value you, no amount of effort, patience, or chasing will change that. A Stoic mindset means recognizing that your worth doesn't need to be proven to someone who fails to see it on their own. The men who refuse to tolerate these games are the ones women ultimately respect. They understand one simple truth: manipulation only works on those who allow it. If you let her keep testing your patience while never offering anything real in return, you're teaching her that this behavior is acceptable. If she disappears, she was never truly interested. Many men make the mistake of chasing or overanalyzing when a woman suddenly pulls away. They assume, did I do something wrong? Maybe she just needs space. Should I try harder to win her back? But here's the harsh reality. A woman who values you won't vanish without explanation. She will respect your time. She will respect your emotions. She will respect the connection you shared. If she suddenly stops responding, becomes distant, or ghosts you entirely, that's not a sign to chase. It's a sign to move on. Too often, men justify this behavior, telling themselves, maybe she's just busy. She's probably figuring things out. But the truth is, no one is ever too busy for someone they truly want. As Seneca reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. The time you spend waiting for her to come back, rationalizing her actions, or wondering what went wrong, is time wasted on someone who has already decided that you're not her priority. If she talks about other men, she's not fully invested. One of the most obvious signs of disinterest is when a woman constantly brings up other men in conversation. A woman who is genuinely into you will make you feel like you're the only man that matters. She won't casually or intentionally bring up an ex-boyfriend, a guy she finds attractive, someone she's talking to on the side. If she frequently drops comments like, "This guy at work is always flirting with me. My ex used to do that too." She's subtly telling you that you're not her first choice. These aren't just random comments, they are deliberate signals that she doesn't see you as the man she truly wants. A high-value man recognizes the signs and walks away. A high-value man doesn't get caught up in these games. Instead, he asks himself, why would a woman bring up other men unless she's trying to communicate something? Maybe she's testing your jealousy, enjoying the feeling of competition, simply not respecting the connection. But no matter the reason, one thing is clear. A woman who truly desires you will not make you feel like an option. The biggest mistake men make, trying to compete. Some men fall into the trap of thinking, if I just prove I'm funnier, smarter, or more successful, she'll choose me. But the moment you start proving yourself, you've already lost. A man who respects himself doesn't enter a competition for a woman's attention. A woman who's genuinely into you won't create a competition in the first place. If she frequently brings up other men, recognize it for what it is, a red flag. The best response, don't engage. Instead of playing her game, shift the dynamic, change the subject. Make a light-hearted but direct comment like, "You talk about him a lot, maybe you should text him instead." This keeps your dignity intact while subtly forcing her to reflect on her behavior. If she respects you and genuinely likes you, she'll correct herself. If she keeps bringing up other men, then that's your answer. She doesn't see you as the man she truly wants. A Stoic mindset: control what you can. You can't control whether a woman sees your value, but you can control where you invest your time and energy. If she constantly talks about other men, disappears without explanation, keeps you around without ever giving you what you truly want, the answer is not to chase. The answer is to walk away. Because a man who understands his worth doesn't need to fight for attention. He simply moves forward and lets the right woman recognize his value effortlessly. Stop playing the game, start owning your worth. A man who truly values himself never has to prove his worth to anyone. The moment you stop engaging in these power struggles, you take back control. The men who naturally attract genuine interest aren't the ones trying to convince anyone of their value. They are the ones who carry themselves with confidence, self-respect, a no-nonsense attitude. A woman who truly desires you will make it obvious. No confusion, no mixed signals, no need for competition. The lesson is simple. Invest your time wisely. Your time is your most valuable asset. Spend it on people who see and appreciate your worth, not on those who take it for granted. The moment you adopt this mindset, you'll never find yourself chasing meaningless connections again. That is how you win Stoic and live as a true high-value man. 8. The soft rejection. She resists physical closeness. A woman who is genuinely attracted to you will naturally show it through physical closeness and body language. This isn't something forced, it's an instinctive response to desire. She'll find subtle ways to be near you, lightly touching your arm while talking, standing closer than necessary, fixing your collar or adjusting your clothing. Even shy women display subtle cues, brushing their hair back while speaking, tilting their body toward you, mirroring your movements. These small but powerful signals show comfort, attraction, and a desire to connect. If you're making excuses for her distance, you're ignoring reality. If you constantly find yourself rationalizing her lack of warmth, thinking she's just shy, maybe she's distracted, she needs time to warm up, then you're letting wishful thinking distort reality. A woman who wants you will make it known. There will be no need for over-analysis. Distance speaks louder than words. On the other hand, when a woman is not attracted to you, she does the opposite. She subtly or openly creates distance. She pulls away when you touch her. She avoids leaning in or keeps objects, her purse, phone, or drink, between you as a physical barrier. These actions aren't random, they are deliberate signs of disinterest. Some women may offer polite excuses like, "I'm just not an affectionate person. I need time to warm up to someone." But the truth is, attraction doesn't need explanations. When a woman is truly into you, she won't be creating distance, she'll be closing the gap. As Seneca wisely put it, a gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver. If her intention is to create distance rather than closeness, then the message is clear: she doesn't see you in a romantic way. A high-value man doesn't chase, he recognizes reality. Many men ignore these signs, thinking, if I'm patient, she'll come around. Maybe if I show her I'm charming enough, I can change her mind. But a high-value man doesn't live in wishful thinking. He sees reality as it is, not as he hopes it to be. What is Stoicism? It is the ability to detach from what we cannot control and focus on our own self-worth. Attraction cannot be forced. If a woman consistently resists physical closeness, she's sending a clear message. She's not interested, and no amount of effort will manufacture attraction where it doesn't naturally exist. The worst thing a man can do, ignore these cues, keep investing time and energy into someone who isn't reciprocating. The reality: when a woman wants you, she shows it. A woman who is truly interested will check, lean in, not pull away. Seek closeness, not avoid it. Make it known, not leave you guessing. If she keeps you at a distance, take the hint and walk away. Redirect your energy towards someone who truly appreciates your presence. This is one of the most valuable Stoic lessons you can learn in relationships. Attraction should never feel like a battle. If it feels like a battle, you're fighting for the wrong woman. Epictetus once said, "Curb your desire, don't set your heart on so many things, and you will get what you need." In other words, stop begging for validation from someone who doesn't recognize your value. Shift your focus towards those who see you, appreciate you, and show it without hesitation. The men who understand this and live by it are the ones who earn the deepest respect, both from women and, more importantly, from themselves. The truth about attraction. A woman who is genuinely interested will make it feel effortless. No guessing, no over-analyzing, no confusion. She will open doors to intimacy, not put up walls. So if you find yourself constantly dealing with distance, if she resists your touch or creates little barriers between you, the answer is already there, without her saying a word. A high-value man doesn't chase uncertainty, he walks away from it. The real question is, are you watching her actions, or are you holding on to false hope? The sooner you face reality, the sooner you'll attract a woman who genuinely desires you, not one who merely tolerates your presence. The soft rejection, what it really means. Attraction isn't about needing more time or moving slow. It's about how she feels about you right now. Here's the tough truth. The same woman who tells you she's not ready to be physically close will, without a second thought, hold another man's hand, lean into his embrace, or sit comfortably on his lap. This isn't about different emotional timelines. It's about chemistry, which is immediate, instinctual, and unmistakable. If you convince yourself that she just needs more time, you're only setting yourself up for heartbreak. A woman who's genuinely drawn to you will not make excuses to avoid closeness. She will seek it without needing to be convinced, because desire doesn't require persuasion. If she's hesitant with you but effortlessly intimate with someone else, it's not about her needing space. It's because she doesn't see you as that guy. Why? Some women won't admit it. Some women won't be upfront about this. Why? Because they enjoy the attention. It feels good to be wanted. They might like the fact that you plan dates, compliment them, or make them feel special. But they don't intend to reciprocate beyond surface-level affection. This is how many men end up as nothing more than a source of validation, while she saves her real passion for someone else. You might think, if I'm patient enough, if I show her how kind and understanding I am, she will eventually feel the same. But attraction doesn't work like a bank account where you can make enough deposits of kindness and suddenly cash out with romantic interest. You cannot negotiate chemistry. The Stoic answer. Seneca wisely said, "Time discovers truth." If you've spent enough time around her and she still keeps you at arm's length, that is the truth revealing itself. A high-value man accepts that he cannot control whether someone desires him. What he can control is where he places his attention and energy. If she consistently holds back, if she keeps you around without ever really inviting you in, she's using your attention, not returning your affection. The high-value man's move. A high-value man doesn't chase beg. Try to convince anyone to see his worth. He watches, he reads the signals, and if the interest isn't mutual, he withdraws. And here's the beauty. The moment you pull back, you'll get your answer. If she truly cares, she'll notice the absence of your energy and start making an effort. She'll find reasons to be around you, initiate subtle touches, and show clearly that she values your presence. But if she doesn't, you walk away with your dignity intact, because that's what living as a Stoic, a high-value man, and a man who truly respects himself is all about. If you want, I can make it even sharper, depending on your preferred style. More like a Big Brother advice, more like a modern Stoic warrior vibe, or more like a dating coach, straight talk. If she's relieved that you stop trying, that's all the answer you need. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." A woman's attraction is not something you can force or negotiate, but what you can control is where you invest your time and energy. If she's not reciprocating your interest, the wisest move is to step back and let her actions speak for themselves. A woman who genuinely desires you won't leave you guessing. She'll lean into your presence, not away from it. She'll seek closeness, not create distance. She'll find reasons to be near you, to touch you, to engage with you in ways that leave no doubt in your mind. But if she consistently resists physical closeness, makes excuses, or avoids situations that would bring you two closer, the answer is clear. She's not interested. And the only self-respecting response, walk away. Stop holding on to false hope. Too many men ignore these signs, clinging to wishful thinking, believing that if they just wait long enough or try harder, she'll eventually come around. But here's the truth. A woman who truly wants you will not need convincing. In fact, the more you try to win her over, the less attractive you become. If she's hesitant, distant, or uninterested, don't take it personally. Take it as information. The Stoic mindset. Strength in walking away. A Stoic man understands that self-control and emotional discipline are non-negotiable. True strength isn't in chasing someone who doesn't appreciate you. It's in recognizing when to walk away from situations that don't serve you. So here's the test. Pull back. Observe. If she moves toward you, her hesitation was temporary. If she doesn't, she was never truly interested in the first place. Either way, you get your answer without wasting more of your time. The key to confidence and respect. The foundation of happiness and self-mastery is detaching from external validation and focusing on what actually matters: your own self-worth. High-value men don't chase, they attract. They don't wait, they choose. No matter where you are in life, embracing these Stoic lessons will elevate your confidence, clarity, and overall happiness. The path to fulfillment isn't found in seeking approval, it's in mastering your mindset and valuing yourself enough to walk away from anything that doesn't align with your standards. What's your next move? Ask yourself, have you ever tried to convince someone to value you? If so, take this as a sign to shift your perspective. A high-value man doesn't chase, he attracts. Now, how will you apply these principles in your daily life? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your insights and experiences. And if you're ready to dive deeper, join my Podium community, link in the description, for exclusive content designed to help you master your masculinity and navigate today's dating world with confidence. Stay strong, stay focused, and protect your power. High-value men don't let urges control their decisions. A high-value man knows that mastering his desires is a cornerstone of his strength. He doesn't allow biological impulses to dictate his actions because he understands that making decisions based on fleeting urges leads to regret, weakness, and a loss of self-respect. Throughout history, countless men have sabotaged their success, integrity, and even empires by failing to control their desires. Think about it. When you're hungry, all you can think about is food. When you're in financial trouble, money is constantly on your mind. The same principle applies to physical urges. When a man lacks control over his desires, he becomes a slave to them, making poor decisions that erode his confidence and dignity. The dangers of losing control: desperate men lower their standards. They chase after women who show little to no interest, waste time on emotionally draining late-night chats, and try to turn casual interactions into something romantic. They overtext, overcompliment, and become so persistent that they end up being ignored, strung along, or used for attention. Some even fall deeper into the trap, spending money on online entertainment, being manipulated by fake accounts, or wasting their resources on women who don't respect them. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. A high-value man understands that true strength comes from controlling his thoughts and actions. He doesn't pursue women out of desperation, nor does he seek validation through excessive spending, flattery, or over-explaining himself. He moves with deliberation, confidence, and restraint, making decisions from a place of strength, not weakness. Resisting the temptation of instant gratification. Modern society bombards men with the temptation of instant gratification, whether it's through hypersexualized content or social media's unrealistic beauty standards. Men are conditioned to believe their worth is tied to how many women they can attract, but a high-value man sees through this illusion. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, to resist distractions, and to cultivate inner discipline. A high-value man doesn't let fleeting urges control his behavior. He knows that true masculinity is rooted in self-control, not indulgence. Instead of chasing after temporary pleasures or living for momentary temptations, he focuses on building himself mentally, physically, and financially. He knows that when he becomes the best version of himself, the right people will naturally gravitate toward him. He doesn't chase, he attracts. Walking away from fruitless pursuits. Too many men waste their time and energy chasing after women who aren't interested, believing that persistence will eventually win them over. They spend years trying to prove their worth to women who only see them as backup plans or emotional placeholders. A high-value man refuses to engage in this endless cycle. He knows that if a woman is genuinely interested, she will show it through her actions: consistent effort, clear communication, and genuine attention. If she's pulling away, leaving him on red, or sending mixed signals, he doesn't chase. Instead, he chooses himself. He walks away from anything that doesn't align with his purpose. Seneca put it perfectly. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Men who spend their prime years chasing women who don't value them are wasting their most valuable asset, time. Ask yourself, are you acting from strength or weakness? If you find yourself constantly thinking about a woman who isn't reciprocating your interest, ask yourself, are you acting from a place of strength? Are you making decisions that serve your highest self, or are you indulging in behaviors that deplete your energy and confidence? A high-value man doesn't wait for external validation. He creates his own path, guided by discipline, clarity, and purpose. He doesn't let physical urges steer his actions, and he doesn't let rejection shake his confidence. Instead, he moves forward with intention, investing his time and energy into things that make him stronger: his career, his health, his passions, and his personal growth. He knows that when he focuses on his self-development, everything else, including women, will fall into place naturally. Master your desires, or they will master you. The lesson is simple: control your desires, or they will control you. The men who rise to the top in life, business, and relationships are those who have mastered themselves. A man who can walk away from temptation, reject disrespect, and stay focused on his mission is the one who commands respect. He doesn't settle for scraps of attention or compromise his values for fleeting pleasure. Instead, he plays the long game, ensuring that every decision he makes contributes to his growth and fulfillment. High value. Men know how to evaluate a woman's true worth. High value. Men know how to evaluate a woman's true worth. They understand that meaningful relationships are built on mutual respect, genuine interest, and shared values, not illusions or wishful thinking. The difference between a high-value and low-value man comes down to experience, emotional discipline, and self-awareness. A man who's been around long enough learns to assess a woman's worth beyond just her looks. He notices her character, actions, and how she treats others as the true measure of who she is. Low-value men, on the other hand, are often blinded by surface-level attraction, mistaking a woman's attention for genuine interest. Too many fall into the trap of thinking that attention equals affection, failing to realize they're simply being used for validation, resources, or convenience. How many times have you seen someone fall for a sugar baby, convinced that with enough effort she'll genuinely love him? That's the pinnacle of delusion. The hard truth is that if a woman only interacts with you when she needs something, whether it's financial support, attention, or social status, then she doesn't value you. She values what you provide. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When you stop creating fantasies about people and start observing their actions, you free yourself from being manipulated. A high-value man knows that respecting a woman doesn't mean ignoring the facts. Too many men believe that treating a woman well will automatically make her value them. But respect isn't earned through kindness alone. It's earned through strength, boundaries, and self-respect. A high-value man doesn't invest in relationships that are transactional. He can appreciate beauty and charm, but he doesn't let those things cloud his judgment. He evaluates women based on integrity, how they treat others, and whether they bring value beyond just their appearance. He doesn't get emotionally attached to fantasies, nor does he try to save women from their choices. If a woman chooses a certain lifestyle or mindset, he understands the consequences and doesn't try to change or fix her. The Stoic approach: see things as they are. What is Stoicism? It's the ability to see the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. A Stoic man understands that people reveal their true character through actions, not words. He notices patterns, not empty promises. Too many men make the mistake of confusing attention for affection, validation for value, and persistence for success. They believe that if they try harder, prove themselves more, or just give enough, a woman will eventually change her mind. But attraction isn't negotiable. It's either there or it's not. A high-value man doesn't waste time trying to convince someone of his worth. He doesn't seek external validation from a woman's approval because he knows that true confidence comes from within, not from how many women find him attractive. Instead of chasing relationships based on wishful thinking, he focuses on building himself, surrounding himself with people who genuinely appreciate and respect him. He knows he's the prize and acts accordingly. Embrace reality and let go of fantasy. If you allow yourself to be consumed by fantasies and false hopes, you'll live a life of disappointment. But if you choose to see things as they are and walk away from anything that doesn't align with your standards, you become truly free. The Stoic life lesson to remember is: never become emotionally attached to potential. Judge people by who they are, not who you hope they could be. A high-value man knows that his time, energy, and emotional investment should only go to those who reciprocate with genuine interest and respect. He doesn't lower his standards or chase validation. A high-value man never lowers his standards, chases validation, or ignores red flags. He moves with intention, knowing that the right relationships should enhance his life, not drain it. The lesson here is clear: stop trying to turn a transactional relationship into something real and start focusing on people who see your worth without you needing to prove it. That's how a high-value man operates, and it's the Stoic mindset in action. The secret of SMV, sexual market value, attraction isn't just about surface-level beauty, it's about a mix of desirability, character, and compatibility. This is where sexual market value, SMV, comes into play. SMV measures how attractive someone is in the dating market, but it's just one part of the equation when it comes to assessing long-term value. Men often gravitate toward women with high SMV, youth, beauty, and physical appeal. But true long-term compatibility requires more than just looks. A woman who combines high SMV with intelligence, kindness, humor, ambition, and valuable life skills is exceptional because she brings both attraction and substance to the table. But what happens when SMV is high but personal value is low? That's where many men make their biggest mistakes, chasing beauty without considering character, only to find themselves stuck in superficial, draining relationships with little emotional depth. A high-value man doesn't settle for a woman just because of her physical attractiveness. He doesn't look down on women with lower SMV if they possess strong values, intelligence, and a mindset that aligns with his vision. The Stoic approach to relationships. Stoicism teaches us to look beyond distractions and delusions and focus on what truly matters. Many men overlook women with lower SMV but strong internal value, women who are educated, emotionally mature, supportive, and aligned with personal growth. These women may not have the social media-driven flash of those seeking validation, but they offer stability, partnership, and a solid foundation for success. On the flip side, the worst choice is a woman with high SMV and low internal value, someone obsessed with validation, status, luxury, or partying, but lacking depth, intelligence, or ambition. These women might attract men, but typically only those seeking short-term pleasure rather than a meaningful connection. A high-value man sees past the illusion of beauty without substance. He's looking for the whole package, attraction and compatibility. Seneca once said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Too many men believe that securing the attention of an attractive woman will lead to happiness, but that's often a false assumption. A relationship based solely on attraction with no emotional depth or shared values will eventually lead to frustration and regret. Focus on what truly matters. A high-value man doesn't let temporary infatuation dictate his long-term happiness. He takes his time to evaluate a woman beyond her appearance, ensuring she aligns with his goals, principles, and standards. Instead of chasing the flashiest woman in the room, he asks himself, does she bring value beyond her looks? Does she have depth, intelligence, ambition? Does she align with the kind of life I want to build? A Stoic life lesson to remember is that self-discipline leads to better decision-making. When you train yourself to look beyond instant gratification, you gain clarity and avoid making destructive choices. A high-value man is selective and intentional about the women he allows into his life. He knows that beauty fades, but character, intelligence, and compatibility create lasting fulfillment. He doesn't get caught in the trap of chasing validation or trying to impress women who offer nothing real. The core lesson. The lesson here is simple. Don't let physical attraction cloud your judgment. Win with Stoic wisdom by focusing on what truly matters in a woman, her mind, her values, and her long-term compatibility with you. The men who understand this principle are the ones who create fulfilling, lasting relationships. Never waste time on superficial relationships. High-value men never waste their time on superficial relationships that lead nowhere. They invest in women who enhance their lives, not those who drain them. A relationship should uplift you, not leave you feeling empty or depleted. High value. Men never present themselves as low value. High value. Men never present themselves as low value, no matter the situation. Whether it's dating, business, or social interactions, first impressions matter, and people form judgments before you even speak. Women don't necessarily focus on specific fashion trends, but they do pay attention to how a man carries himself. Just as men are drawn to women who are put together and attractive, women are naturally attracted to men who exude confidence, discipline, and self-awareness. If you've never received a compliment on your appearance, maybe it's time to rethink your image. High-value men don't let themselves look neglected, sloppy, or unpolished because they understand that appearance is non-verbal communication. It signals success, competence, and self-respect. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." Your appearance and presence should reflect the ambitions and goals you've set for yourself. The great thing is, you don't need to be a fashion expert to refine your image. In today's world, where social media and first impressions dominate, your personal brand is more important than ever. Instead of guessing what works, study confident, well-dressed men across various industries, business, entertainment, sports, and observe their posture, grooming, and overall presence. Find a style that matches your personality, and remember that a Stoic life lesson is to focus on what you can control. And your image is one of those things. You can't control how others perceive you, but you can control how you present yourself. Small adjustments, like getting a proper haircut, wearing clothes that fit well, and improving your posture, can make a huge difference in how others see you and, more importantly, how you see yourself. A common misconception is that caring about your appearance is superficial. But the truth is, how you look influences how you feel, and how you feel impacts how you act. A man who respects himself dresses in a way that aligns with his own standards, not to impress others, but to reflect his values. You don't need expensive brands or to follow trends blindly. Focus on looking sharp, clean, and intentional. The way you present yourself sends a clear message about whether you're a man of discipline or a man of complacency. Epictetus once said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." This applies not just to your clothes, but to your entire presence, your body language, your energy, and the way you carry yourself. In today's world, your personal image goes beyond just your appearance. It extends to your online presence, your social interactions, and your reputation. A high-value man never allows himself to be perceived as low value by displaying reckless behavior, desperation, or lack of self-control. Whether you're in a business meeting, a social gathering, or on a date, how you present yourself can dictate the opportunities you attract. The best part: you don't need to be rich or famous to cultivate a strong presence. It's all about awareness, effort, and consistency. High-value men move with purpose, dress with intention, and carry themselves with quiet confidence. What is Stoicism? Stoicism teaches us to master ourselves in all areas of life, and image is a key part of that mastery. Your appearance is the first filter people use to assess you. While it doesn't define you, it certainly influences how others engage with you. If you want to attract success, respect, and high-quality relationships, you first need to embody the image of a man who deserves those things. Win with Stoicism by focusing on what you can control: your style, your body language, and your overall presence. The men who take their presentation seriously open doors to better opportunities, stronger relationships, and a more powerful sense of self. So, ask yourself, what message is your appearance sending to the world? The answer to that question determines your value. The way you present yourself will determine whether people see you as high value or someone who fades into the background. High value. Men do not brag or seek validation. High-value men don't brag or seek validation. True confidence speaks softly while insecurity shouts loudly. You can always tell the difference between a man who is genuinely successful and one who just wants to appear that way. Some men feel the need to constantly talk about their achievements, flaunt their wealth, or exaggerate their success to impress others. But the more someone tries to prove their worth, the more they reveal their lack of internal confidence. As Epicurus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. A truly high-value man doesn't measure his success by the approval of others, but by his ability to live life on his own terms. He doesn't seek applause or external validation because he understands that real power comes from within, not from the opinions of others. Instead of talking about his accomplishments, he lets his actions, discipline, and work speak for themselves. He focuses on improving his skills, building meaningful connections, and creating long-term success, rather than chasing temporary admiration. The loudest men in the room are often the weakest because they feel the need to constantly prove themselves. They post pictures of their luxury cars, brag about their wealth, or name-drop to feel important. The strongest men, those who command respect without trying, never need to advertise their status. They don't boast about the women they've been with, the money they've made, or the influence they hold, because they don't need external validation to feel valuable. They're grounded in their own accomplishments, self-worth, and long-term purpose. The Stoic approach. Stoicism teaches us that a man's value isn't determined by how much attention he receives, but by his ability to stay disciplined, composed, and self-assured, regardless of praise or criticism. If you want respect, stop seeking validation and start building undeniable value. People can sense when a man is truly confident and when he's overcompensating for deep insecurities. A Stoic mindset reminds us that happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from external praise. When you stop trying to impress others, you free yourself to focus on real success, success built on discipline, purpose, and self-mastery. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." When you stop chasing validation and start living with purpose, you become the type of man who commands respect without needing to demand it. Focus on self-improvement. A man who understands this truth doesn't need to brag, flex, or seek approval. He naturally earns the admiration and respect of those who matter. The lesson here is simple. The strongest men don't seek attention. They become the type of men others naturally gravitate toward. Focus on becoming that man, and you'll never feel the need to prove yourself again. Being a high-value man. A lifelong commitment. Being a high-value man is a lifelong commitment to mastery, discipline, and purpose. It's not about seeking approval or constantly proving yourself. It's about choosing growth, setting high standards, and demanding more from life. True Stoic happiness comes from within, from knowing you control your actions, your mindset, and your future.